Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch that dial. We're going to talk about transportation. We're going to talk about from this place to another place. So we're talking about the SEPTA, okay? Transportation, okay? I think it's the greatest way to travel, especially today. I don't have to worry about the parking. I don't have to worry about somebody cutting me out and find a parking place and everything. SEPTA is a really big thing in Norristown. They built a garage at a corner of Lafayette and DeKalb Street. I think it holds close to 500 cars, okay? And we're in the middle of, not in the middle, but the beginning of restoring Norristown and coming back. And, we're really, we're working on it. A lot of theaters and stuff are going to be moving in. So, and we're prepared. We got the garages. And so, ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is strictly from Philadelphia. I'm going to do a Madison Square Garden, weighing 201 pounds, 6 foot something. I'm a big guy, strong guy, looked like a football player. And I'm going to let him introduce himself, okay? People like to repeat their own name, okay? Because I'll mess up, okay? So tell us your name and welcome to Norristown.
Thank you much, Hank. My name's Kim Scott Heinle. I'm the Assistant General Manager for Customer Service and Advocacy at SEPTA.
Okay, and that means what?
Well, that means that my responsibility is to make sure that the entire organization is focused on the key aspect of what we are always about, and that's taking care of our customers. From the maintenance folks to the control center folks to the train operators, bus drivers, we're here because we have customers.
Okay, now, the SEPTA, if somebody has a complaint, how do you handle that?
In different ways. First of all, anytime a customer has a concern about the service that we provided, we'd like to hear about that. Because sometimes things happen that we don't know about and we need to know about, so we can fix things if they share information with us.
Right.
A lot of our more...
Well, look at improve.
Sure.
Right? Customer service.
Yeah, you can't improve if you don't know about it. A lot of our more savvy riders who ride all the time, if they see something happening that's just not right, they sometimes know why, and it's not a big issue. But if it's an item about lack of information, a lack of courtesy, if they let us know, then we'll deal directly with the management firm.
Right. Okay, and then now how important is SEPTA to the suburbs? Now we're considered suburb Norristown, although we're the county seat of Montgomery County, okay, and we're proud. So you perform the service for the suburbs. What's the scoop on that now?
We are a regional transportation authority. That means we are...
Wait, not to interrupt. SEPTA. Everybody knows what it is. What is it?
It stands for Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority.
Oh, okay.
So we are not only the city of Philadelphia, but the 4 surrounding counties of Delaware, Chester, Montgomery, and Bucks.
Oh, okay.
So our network of services, although we inherited much from the private firms right after World War II, we put it all together into one package now that really ties the whole region together. And one of the things that we're trying to do as we move forward is to make sure that opportunities for transportation between suburban points are much more convenient.
Yeah. And okay, now how about Norristown? What kind of services is helping out with Norristown? I know you all built that. I sound like I'm down south here. Well, built that garage here at Lafayette County. How come? What's the scoop? You're projecting something that's going to happen in Norristown that you wouldn't be building. This like why would you build a bridge to go someplace if you're not going to go over the bridge to go someplace, right?
Well, we're constantly looking, Hank, at where our demand's going to grow in the future.
Okay, you hear what he said? We're growing in the future, Norristown.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
The borough has come a long way. It has room to grow, but there's definitely a renaissance coming, and the surrounding area is growing also. So as people look to get away from driving their cars, if they need to go into the city for work or recreation, or they want to take the 100 line into Delaware County, they need a place that's comfortable and convenient to get to. So we were at capacity. The old lots were at capacity. People who just showed up for the first time could not find a place to park. And now we have an opportunity to help not only make the transportation and hub integral to the borough's renaissance, but also helps our business too.
Right. And, you know, I can, you know, I was a policeman. I started in 1952. And at the corner of Main and Markley Street, they had the gates, and they had a watchman. They had a little house there. And I worked the midnight shift, you know. And we used to go in and keep warm. and there was no park. I think there was parking, maybe one or two parking places. But you go there now, the parking place there. Then you go to Elm and Markley, and it's big. You know, a lot. I don't know how many cars are parked there. And then there used to be, at the end of the line there at Elm Street, there used to be like one train, you know, one train, electric, right? And then they had the choo-choo trains too, but now I see 3 and 4 coming in and going back and forth. 4, and how many? Most of them trains. What's it hold? Maybe.
Oh, about each car holds a couple hundred people, so that's a lot of people.
So
and the Norristown Line has grown significantly. I think in our system, it's probably the leader in terms of increase in ridership recently. Between Norristown, the 3 stations in Norristown, Conshohocken, and then down even along the river, some of the smaller stations, Mequon.
They got the Calb Street there, and then you got Main and Markley, and then Elm Street. Right. You get on, you know.
Right, and they're all growing.
And that's so it. People, you know, we're going to hook on to right now. Stan Husky, the editor of Times Herald, myself, and a committee of different people. We're trying to get. We're working on getting a theater. The theater will draw. You know, so we're looking now. Hundreds of cars parked. They come in, they park, and they go to Philadelphia. Now we can just draw from that. You know, if we can say, well, okay, we have a restaurant there. Maybe you get a little breakfast before you get on a train. Go to Philadelphia. Go to Philadelphia with a full stomach, and then when you come back, you maybe want to stop and have dinner and have a theater, and then go home. You know. So it's really going to be it's there, you know. And we're in a crossroads. We have Norristown. We have the bus transport. Let's talk about the buses. Okay, what's the scoop on the bus?
Well, there's a healthy bus network that radiates out of the Norristown Transportation Center.
Right there. That's another thing.
The lines are all scheduled to come in about the same time, usually on the hour, so that people can transfer between different lines. And then we call it a pulse system. Comes in, comes out, comes in, comes out, just like a heartbeat. So the buses are scheduled to take people to the growing destinations around the suburban area, King of Prussia, Norristown, Plymouth Meeting, even out all the way out to Pottstown. So there's.
Now, is the P&W, is that the SEPTA 2?
Yes.
That's SEPTA 2?
Absolutely.
That used to be the Philadelphia and Western, they call it, right?
That's right.
And then we had the Reading Railroad and the Pennsylvania Railroad.
That's right.
What's the scoop on that? There's no more Pennsylvania Railroad and no more Reading Railroad, or what's the scoop?
Well, the P&W is now called the Route 100.
Oh,
okay?
that's the title.
That's when you see signs down there, you'll see the Route 100.
I used to let off at Main and Swede. Now it's down at Lafayette.
Yeah, they cut that elevated structure that used to go up to Main Street. Now that ends right back at the terminal.
Right.
The Reading Railroad and the Pennsylvania Railroad. The Pennsylvania Railroad, back in its heyday, was, I think, the biggest company in the world.
Yeah.
They employed.
What happened?
Well, times changed. Business has changed. And the automobile came on the scene.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that's really what created the change in the whole travel patterns.
The automobile created the suburbs. All the cities were near the river. The trains were near the river. You know, the boats would come in. Then the automobile. Then we started with the suburbs. People moved out. They couldn't get out there without it. You know?
But how did they get out there? They got out there on the Reading and the Pennsylvania railroads. Huge infrastructure investments that the private companies made.
Tell me, does SEPTA help the community? What are some of the things that the SEPTA helps? I mean, they build a garage for the convenience and all. Is there anything else they do as public relation or help like, let's say that we want to get a theater in Norristown, or we want to project something, some art and culture or something. Do they get involved in that?
Absolutely. We have a very active public and government affairs unit who stays in contact with all the elected officials throughout the region. Our service planning folks have very close relationships with the county planning agencies, so that we need to stay in the loop in terms of where the municipalities and the counties are going in terms of their developments or their desires or their future plans, because really transportation has to be integral to anything that you're talking about. And it's important that one town doesn't have a plan that contradicts something that somebody else is doing or competes. And so by bringing everybody into the same room and talking about, different interests and how you're going to get around it it's very helpful.
I know Rochelle Griffith, she was former councilwoman, now she works government affairs, I think, with your company, right?
Yes.
And she was and I called her and I said, I want somebody to talk about the SEPTA. And she was the one that made the contact here. And she keeps me abreast on what's going on, if there's any kind of question or anything. Want to get a guest here. We want people to know what's going on. Like Harry Truman said, what's new, the history we haven't read, or we want to get involved. So the SEPTA. What else is? Do you have anything in the front burner, or anything that's going to be helpful to Norristown? Or is there anything that we can contact, that other towns are getting that maybe we don't know about, that we could be helpful?
Well, I think what people should be aware of is that if you think back to late last summer, early fall, when gas prices were very, very high.
When the what?
When the gas prices were very high.
Yeah, go ahead,
we saw a huge surge in ridership, Hank, onto our system. So these were people who had never ridden public transit before, but because of the price of gas, they've always had the option of taking SEPTA, but they never exercised it.
Yeah, okay.
So a lot of those folks came with us and stayed with us. Others might have gone back to driving again because the gas prices came down. But the good thing is now they know how to do it.
Okay.
So that if they need to use us again, either for work
go ahead.
Either for work or for recreational purposes, it's an easier thing to make that jump.
Well, how can we keep people informed? Like, what's the best thing? Every once in a while, this show is helping people, know what's going on. But how can we? I'll give you an example. The World Series. My God, everybody wanted to get on the train. I remember that, and they couldn't get on.
Right.
And, you have so many trains scheduled, right?
We literally maxed out our system, and it wasn't close to enough. The enthusiasm was incredible.
It was unbelievable.
But
right.
even though we did not move as many people as we had hoped to, or that they wanted us to accommodate, we had our biggest day in our history in terms of moving human beings, and safely.
Yeah, you're right.
There was no one seriously injured throughout the entire day.
The other time that I remember when I would say that Philadelphia stood still is when the Pope came to visit Philadelphia, and I rode down on the train, and it was something. I mean, everybody in that train was going down. We're going to see the Pope, it was Pope John, there, Paul, right?
Right.
And it was really something. So, and we got to know people. It was so friendly, It isn't like when you're driving a car, you see somebody pull over there, you give them a dirty look, or you get a dirty look, or they give you the hand, or sometimes part of the hand. But everybody was friendly, and I guess. Do you have any stories that people drive the train every day, that ever got to know each other and then they got married? Really?
Oh, yeah, that happens.
Do you think it's been?
That happens. In fact, there was, last fall, there was a wedding that was held at one of our city subway stations because that's where the couple met.
No kidding.
And the media was there, and we've had that on buses, we've had it on trolleys. We've had people who create lasting, lifelong relationships by riding transit.
Yeah. And then, okay, now, but that was a big wedding, right?
That was a big wedding.
What did SEPTA do? Did you give them
we
ring
just,
the bell?
Well, what we do in those types of things is just make sure that we don't create obstacles.
Right.
But we have to look at some safety issues, and so we're there to help coordinate things.
All right. Now, what is the best way, or not I said the best way, what for you to communicate with the people? How do you do it? Through email or the signs on the buses and
Well, in this day and age, you have to have lots of different ways to communicate.
Yeah,
And-
you're right.
And one of the challenges that I have in this role is to make sure that we're looking at how technology is changing the landscape of communications, and that we're adapting our techniques to the younger generations, just like the people in this studio. I mean, what they relate to are different than what you and I relate to.
Yeah.
And we have to be prepared to do that. So we're looking at enhanced website services. We're looking at text messaging. We're looking at travel alerts where you would register and get
right.
something on your cell phone. So all these types of informations flows.
weather reports for the roads are
Yeah.
jammed up.
Yeah.
In fact, I had emergency with the Montgomery County emergency. I forget what it's something to do with emergency, but they let you know. You can hook up with them. They'll let you know what if the bad conditions on the turnpike.
Same concept.
Hey,
Same concept. If you're an R6 rider and you want to know how do I keep from wasting my time and going down to Elm Street if the train's not going to be there?
Yeah.
Well, very soon we'll have a system where we can send you an alert that says your train is delayed, and then you'll know. You can plan.
I wonder. Go ahead.
People today, Hank, not only want to make sure that our services are what we advertise them to be, but people value time more than they do money sometimes.
You're right.
And they get frustrated to no end when they feel that we've
Wasted
contributed
time.
to waste their time.
Right.
So whatever we can do to help keep information flowing as quickly as possible, even if it's not good news,
Yeah.
okay,
But
at least they now know, all right, now I can make other plans.
Right. That's great, and people fear, the old story, like education removes fear. There's fear. I don't know whether I can go. I don't know if it's going to. I don't know. What you don't know. Pick up the phone or find out. Check. Same thing. I had the doctor here and it said that people panic when they see a little bit of blood. They go, oh, but wipe it away. It might be just a little bit of a cut. There's more blood there. There's nothing there. Just a little pressure, and stop it. Education removes fear.
Right.
Pick up the phone. When in doubt, check it out. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you a story. Right. The little stories about buses. They said, the horse flies in New Jersey. They're so big. A horsefly bit a Greyhound bus, and it swelled up. They couldn't get through the Lincoln Tunnel. Okay, that was. And then there was a lady on the bus, and the lady said, went up to the bus driver, says, "Bus driver, does this bus go over the bridge?" Says, "Lady, if it don't, it's going to be a big splash." Okay, I had to throw them in there. Okay, so all right now, what is? I did ask you about what you have in the front burner. Okay, for Norristown. Is there anything? I guess I know you covered the whole area, but I don't want to. I'm plugging Norristown area, East, North, West, North, this whole area. That I'm concerned about, because this station covers East, North, West, North, Norristown, Conshohocken, Upper Merion, all these people that are watching this, So they feel safe. They feel that they get on that train or bus, whatever, they're in good shape, right?
Absolutely.
They're going to get there.
They're going to get there. And you know what? One of the things your viewers might think about doing, especially as we get closer to summertime, especially if they have kids, because I don't know any kids that are not fascinated with buses or trolleys or trains. And we've just introduced at SEPTA a brand new family day pass. Where you could have 2 adults and up to 3 children and have unlimited rides on anything for $25. So if you want to take a family adventure on a Saturday or Sunday,
Just go for a ride.
Yeah, go for a ride. Get on the train at Norristown, go into the city, get on the Flash visitor bus downtown, go to the zoo or to the museum.
And you just keep going on. It's good for the whole day.
Yeah, it's good for the whole day. You just keep showing the one pass.
I think in the city, I was at a police conference, I think Milwaukee or someplace, Seattle. I think you buy one bus and it's all good for all day.
That's what this is too.
Is that?
But the difference here at SEPTA, this pass is good on regional rail and on transit. A lot of cities.
Wait, what's the difference here?
Well, a lot of cities have a pass, but it's only good on the transit piece, or it's only good on the rail piece. our new Independence Pass, the Family Independence Pass, gets you anywhere. And it's a wonderful
Independent.
Family Independence Pass. And if you go to SEPTA, www.septa.org, O-R-G, you'll learn all about it.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Wait, give that again now.
Our website is www.septa.org, O-R-G.
Okay, good.
Okay?
Now, what's this quiet ride?
The Quiet Ride.
Quiet or quiet?
Quiet.
Okay, give me some stuff on that.
Well, it's part of our customer service initiative, Hank. It's part of our overall program to look at ways to improve the environment of transportation. The reason why people want to ride is because, as you just said, they want to have a safe, relaxing trip.
Right, right.
And there's a lot of stress in the world, so
Right.
why not look at your train as an opportunity to relax and just cope with the world in a peaceful way. So what we've introduced after testing it for a number of months on the R5 Lansdale-Doylestown line is the Quiet Ride Car program. We're the first car in the train during rush hour
Yeah.
is designated as the Quiet Ride Car. That means, just like you told me here, no cell phones?
Yeah.
No cell phones, okay?
Okay.
If you talk to your neighbor, you do it quietly like this.
Quiet, okay.
Okay?
I could never go on that train.
Well, then
They
you
wouldn't let me on there.
then you go back. Then we ask you to go, please
me
go
the back.
back to the other cars
Oh,
and
my
where
God.
things can be normal. But
I like that.
people are looking for an environment that
Right.
is fun, but civilized.
Right, right.
Okay?
Right, right.
And what
don't
they
go overboard, you know, don't
Don't-
make wackos out of them. You know.
Right.
But that's, yeah, because, you know, I would say take a good book.
Mm-hmm.
That's why newspapers, you know, but take a good book and read it, you know, and you don't want a guy next to you, bah, 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 you know,
And that's
you know.
what's happening. So what we're trying to do is in this first car, no cell phones. Now,
No s-
do emergencies happen? Absolutely. And if you have to take an emergency call, you take it, you get off the phone right away, you just don't keep talking.
yeah.
We would encourage people, if they need to use their cell phone, you can text.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do a text message,
Right.
but no conversations.
Right. At least if it's on buzzer, you don't like getting noise
Yeah,
or anything.
right.
You know, you don't have to be talking. I don't want to hear somebody else's troubles. You know, I got my own troubles, right? Yeah.
Some
You know,
people commute for over an hour on the trains.
Yeah, ba, ba,
so,
ba, yeah.
so they need, some people don't get off the phone for an hour.
That's right.
So it's
Yeah, you know, when I had a friend of mine, I don't want to mention, very, very prominent guy. He had a lot of arithmetic, you know. He had a limo, you know, and he had a driver. And he, from the time he got in the car, we went to Philadelphia. He was on the phone all that time talking, you know, and then taking notes and all. And says, my God, you know. So I guess the train is thinking, well, if a guy had some, it's good. You can't be doing it if you're driving on an expressway. You can't be doing it. And I just heard on the radio or on TV this morning where a lady in some city ran over a guy with a motorcycle, and she was doing her fingers, you know, putting polish on her fingers while she was driving, you know. So, this way you sit there, you relax, get a book, you know. And I tell you, I heard about my, the guy got to know. Another guy, he says he drove out to Las Vegas in a $50,000 Mercedes, and he came back in a $150,000 bus. I don't know. Well, okay, there's a joke in there someplace. So okay, now the parking. The parking. Now, when somebody parks in Norristown, I know they pay at Lafayette and DeKalb, right?
Right.
They pay there, and that's going to be helpful there. And I think when you first started, the garage closed at 11, but I think they stay open later now, because if we have a theater in that area, we're going to be advertising bus, you know, there's a parking garage right there, okay? How do they work at? They would work along with the community, I guess, and like if the show is over at 11 o'clock, maybe at least 12, you know. I don't know what time I haven't checked it to see what time they close.
It does take us some time to coordinate that. So
Yeah.
as soon as
They work with the community on that.
yeah, but and as soon as the community or the venue has a program where they want us to partner with them, the earlier we sit down and talk about it, the better it is. One of the priorities in our customer service program that we've been hearing about is to have later service on the railroad. because people need to go to events.
Right, okay.
So we added some later trains last year. We hope that we can do it in the future, but we need to make sure that the trains that we already added are seeing ridership growth. But if Norristown or the surrounding townships have events and they want to tie SEPTA into that, we're always happy to talk to them and see how we can do.
And I guess the council would be the one to be communicated. You're
It could be the council. It could be a chamber of commerce type
Okay.
situation.
Oh, I see.
It could be an individual institution that has a big event.
Yeah. What other agencies you work with? Like you have to deal with a lot of people. Okay. So what kind of agencies and how do you coordinate, or how do you bob and weave? You know, slip punches. You know, because somebody's complaining, right?
Well, in the suburbs, of course, there's the county planning agencies. There's the municipal governments in the townships and boroughs. There's also the transportation management associations, who are very strong partners.
Okay.
There are different organizations that basically surround the city, and there's a couple in the city, whose function is to help make sure that local transportation issues are brought to the surface and addressed locally, but often in cooperation with us.
Right.
A lot of times the TMAs will sponsor that last leg of a journey that we don't provide.
Okay.
Like we'll get people to a station or a bus route, but then they need to get another mile further and it's just too far to walk. So the TMAs will work with employers or host governments to figure out how to solve that kind of a situation. So there's a lot of people in the transportation game all trying to do the best we can for the environment, for mobility, for recreation, and for employment.
The half hour's over. Okay.
All right.
And we learned a lot, ladies and gentlemen. You know, welcome to Norristown, SEPTA. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this. I'm sure, I know I did. I learned a lot about it, and we want to contact. You gave about the web site you have, and
215-580-7800
right
is our information number.
And if you have any kind of problems, anything, you know, but we're happy, and I'm glad to hear that you help the community. And so a lot of people have figured, well, they're just in here making a fast buck to get out. But you're not, okay? You're helping to build the community, and we want to thank you, SEPTA, for allowing, and Rochelle, thank you for get my man over here, all right? Thank you very much. And let's a little bit here and say, in Italian, say hello, salute, to your health.
Salute.
Right. And your little token of appreciation, you hang it in your office when you can check it out there.
Will do. That's wonderful.
Thank you for being on a TV show, okay?
Thank you very much, and thank you to your viewers.
You're a good guest. Great. Thank you.
That went fast.
We're all right. We did all right.